Well, it's the first day of this crazy new world that we're all living in. And like you, I'm in lockdown. I'm at home in the garden. Now, thankfully, it is a beautiful sunny day and I'm lucky enough to have a garden. But somehow in the sunshine, it doesn't seem quite so bad. It all seems very surreal, doesn't it? Totally and utterly bizarre. It's like you're in some kind of disaster movie and just wanting it to sort of end and show the credits. Roll the credits, I say. But, you know, we are all in this together and, you know, there is a master plan. And I think most of us believe in the master plan. So let's do what we can to make the most of it. Because it's happening, right? Somebody told me yesterday, I think it was really good, and that is a lot of people are fearing that we will never go back to how things were, and in lots of ways maybe we won't. But I don't believe it's going to be Armageddon, right? That we will go back to what was normal, and there might be some changes, and it'll probably affect us all in lots of different ways. But normality will return. Normal service will be resumed. So we're just going to get through this little period and I guess adapt. You know, maybe you're working your socks off, maybe you're in the NHS and doing wonderful things, maybe you're a support worker, maybe you're delivering food or working in the food industry or any of the support industries and things. And if you are, well, thank you for everything you're doing, and your life is turned on its head as much as ours. But in some ways, I guess you've got something to focus on, and a lot of people right now will be just wondering what the heck to do, and trying to keep busy is the way that you're going to pass this time, and trying to maybe do things that you hadn't thought of doing. I guess you need to get to the end of each day and try and find a way of saying, well, you know what, it wasn't what I was expecting, but you know, I've done something X, Y, or Z. And I think certainly I've said before that, you know, educating yourself, using this time to learn about, you know, a life after all this stuff where you can be in a better financial position is a really good way to go. So be that property training, you know, I've got DVDs and property masterclass, my auction masterclass, which you could do, which you can get from Martin Roberts' propertyeducation.com, and there's all sorts of things that myself and the team at Asset Academy are doing to help you do online training and all sorts of stuff to maybe use this time to educate yourselves. But also, I think perhaps you can also look close to home and think about some DIY projects. You know, that fence that needs fixing, the door that's always squeaked, the tap that's still dripping. I've got a feeling that right now, if you're at home, these things are going to be even more poignant because you're going to have time to reflect on them and look at that bit of the wallpaper that's coming off or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a series of simple DIY sort of like lessons, if you like. I'm going to start filming them straight away. I'm going to put them up on my YouTube channel, which is Martin Roberts Property Titbits. And they'll be there for you to have a look at, and maybe it'll inspire you to do a bit of DIY around the home, simple stuff that you can do, and ideally stuff that you don't need to go out to the shops to get any equipment for, because obviously going out to the shops is going to be a little bit tricky, and I don't think the DIY stores are going to be classed as essential. So you can always order stuff online and get that delivered, but let's try and use stuff that we've got around and about the place. And see if we can inspire you to do a few bits and pieces. As I mentioned before, I'm also going to be recording some children's stories so that hopefully I'll keep the kids entertained as well. And also I'm digging out something which is very precious to me. My best mate, DIY Dave, who is no longer with us, but we did a series of podcasts. Well, we didn't do the podcast, we just recorded them for use in the radio show I was doing at the time, and I want to re-release them, and they're all about DIY, but the stories really were they ended up being rambles about life, the universe, and everything from farting rabbits to the dangers of hoovering your hamster's cage out. And we just shot the breeze and also did a lot of DIY stuff. So look out for those podcasts, which are going to be released very soon. And I've called them imaginatively Martin and DIY Dave. Martin Roberts and DIY Dave. DIY advice and fun conversation. So check that out. But in the meantime, a lot of people are wondering what the property market is going to do right now. And, you know, property doesn't like uncertainty, and it's certainly pretty uncertain times, if that makes sense at the moment. That's Rolo the dog, by the way, Rolo dog. The property market doesn't like uncertain times. So I think possibly if you're in the market to sell right now, you might be a little bit concerned. If you're trying to buy, you might be a little bit concerned about what the situation is and whether the right thing to do is to hold off or whatever. I think the reality is that this period will pass and the property market will start again pretty much where it left off, because it's almost like it's on hold, right? Isn't it? I mean, you can't get a booking with an estate agent, really. Some of the online people might still be doing stuff, but you might find it quite difficult to get a valuer to visit a property. You know, viewings are going to be tricky right now when we're not supposed to leave our homes. So, you know, I think we just have to say life is on pause at the moment. And therefore, I think the property market is on pause, which is probably not a bad thing. Because a bit like when the stock market starts to free fall, they have a safety mechanism where they actually stop it, don't they? And they don't allow any more trading. And it's almost like we've been enforced to have this no more trading in the property market right now. And I think that's good. Because it will stop any craziness, it will stop any crazy panic selling, buying, whatever it might be. And hopefully, in a few months' time, everything will return to normal and the property market will carry on where it left off, really. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm an expert, but I don't know. I didn't predict that 2 weeks ago I'd be sitting here, not really supposed to leave my house. Well, not allowed to leave my house other than the obvious things of going to get food and going for a little bit of exercise a day. So, yeah, so I can't really predict what's going to happen, but that's my thoughts. I might be wrong, but I would hold your nerve. Don't panic. There's not a lot you can do about stuff at the moment, and I think we've been naturally forced to have this period of kind of everything on hold. And so I think in this instance, that's quite a good thing. So keep strong. We're all in this together. Not exactly shoulder to shoulder, but 6 feet apart. But I'll carry on updating you. I'll carry on talking to you. And I am going to start doing these videos, these DIY videos. It's on Martin Roberts Property Titbits. That's my YouTube channel. Check them out. Look out for Martin Roberts and DIY Dave's podcasts. The usual places you look for podcasts. Check out martinrobertspropertyeducation.com for some inspiration and things that you could be doing to fill your time. And we will be doing this together. God bless.